Hey traders, this is Marco. It's Friday. We have another buy bar. And as you can see in the background, I'm in a different location. My wife and me, we are traveling. And I was thinking that I will still make this buy bar for you. So please excuse me for this bad quality for the lighting here. Yeah, the main thing is that I can do it for you. And yeah, I'm coming to the PC always around 7 in the morning, and I was already drawing here some channels for you. So you can see this channel working lower here during the night, and we had an overshoot of this channel. Then we had a shorter term channel trending higher, break new high. No setup here. Then we were trending lower. You can also see the shorter term channel, break new low, but we didn't manage to retest the lows of this downtrend here. So yeah, pretty much from now we go sideways here and we start with the bar by bar. I can see a structure working higher here. You can see it like prices make higher lows here all the time. So I'm trying to draw a channel here and see if we can have a good fit. And I'm coloring always the channels so you have a better overview of what's happening. And prices go higher here. We're pushing above the EMA. There's no setup here. This is also a huge bar, 20 ticks. By the way, I hope you can see enough here because I'm doing this with my laptop. The screen is much smaller, but I zoomed in a lot, so I hope that's fine. Yeah, we're trending higher here, finding some support at the EMA. Can draw some shorter term channel here, and we're breaking this uptrend here for the first time. So after a break of an uptrend or downtrend, we like to see the retest of the extremes, and we have a break here, potentially first entry long, but there's no good signal bar, and this bar is closing below the EMA and has a wick on the top, so we cannot take this, and this looks congestive right now. Here's a higher low, but as I said, like we have like many bars stacked up in this area, so we skip this, and prices made a new high here, so technically this uptrend here could be played out by now. And what's interesting, I'm drawing this here, prices form some support here. You can see this level like this. Prices created this low here, tested it one time, tested it another time, and now tested it a third time. So if there was not a new high in play here already, this signal bar here, this entry, long entry would be very interesting for me. But also it has 18 ticks, so I'm not sure if I want to risk 18 ticks. And as I said, like this channel had a break new high, and in general it looks very sideways. Maybe we can draw here some like little range, something like this. Yeah, and the range highs are pretty much here. So not really sure to take a long setup into the highs, and also the shorter term channel played out. So we skip this for now. There's a higher low here, but same topic. Also, it's flying above the EMA, and I would like to see a pullback to the EMA and then finish like this. But yeah, this is not happening here. Drawing my shorter term channel, going higher, and I'm extending this range here, and we're trending higher here a bit, but you can see price action is flying above the EMA. We have no real pullback to the EMA, and the EMA is the key entry point, and we are looking for entries right off the key entry points. So right now we have to wait, extending the channel, and we're pushing a bit higher here, even breaking out of this range. And this is the opening of the market. You can see this always in the color change here. The background is changing from gray to white. That means markets opened, and we're trending lower here a bit, having a pullback back to the EMA, but no setup. I don't like this candle here, and also it's like only a first entry so far. So we have to skip this for now. Coloring the channel. And we're going lower here. No wheel setup. We're bouncing off this midline of the range. And this looks very sideways. So really no setup here. Can draw the shorter term channels. Maybe even like this. Always draw these channels because they will give you a good indication if the channel is intact or if a channel, for example, was broken already. So, and maybe we have to extend this range a bit because I can see that we are bouncing here. Maybe it's fitting like this a bit better to the low side. Maybe like this. Yes, I will leave it like this for now and we will see how it goes from here. So we're going higher here. There's no setup. It's congestive here. Also, prices didn't push above the EMA. There's no failure here. And we're bouncing right off this range resistance here. Let me extend this. Because prices tested these highs here another time and the second time here, but I would like to see a lower high or something to take a short here, because also look at this strong push higher here. We had the break, tiny break of the structure and retest of the highs. So this uptrend here could be played out, but I would like to see a lower high as confirmation. And we get the lower high here. So this is a very interesting setup. Also, you can see this channel here in play, trending lower here. And yeah, I think this setup here is worth to take because we bounced off this range resistance here. And what's typical for ranges, once prices bounce at the top, we go and test the other side of the range. So I'm very fine in taking this lower high here, and I'm following a tip that I got that I'm not confirming this written text with the mouse click, but with pushing on enter, and then the chart is not jumping. So thank you very much for this tip. It helps, as you can see. So this lower high is worth to take. We're bouncing off here, forming the shorter term channel, going lower here. First break of this channel, but look at this bearish bar. It's closing almost perfectly on its low, so it's worth to take here. Maybe we can even extend this because I see another break of the structure here. And we're going lower. This is not to take because it's way too far away of the EMA. Would like to see it's much closer to the EMA to consider another short here, let's say failure or another lower high, but right of the EMA and not so far down here. Also, we had a break here and we're retesting the extremes right now, so we never know how long this pullback here will last. So if you go short, for example, here prices could turn on you any second. We're retesting the lows and we are bouncing off here. There's no real support here if I'm zooming out a bit. So yeah, not sure why prices are not getting to the other side of the range. So that makes me a bit curious, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's happening next. But yeah, to consider, let's say, another short here, I would like to see a very clear setup, because right now we had the break here and retest of the lows. Or maybe if you extend this like downtrend here to like this, you will see it like very often that you start with a structure. For example, we started with the structure here and then we saw this break and retest of the lows, but then you can see prices are extending the structure here, so there could be another break because prices still push lower here. You can see it from this candle. So you can extend the structure, your existing downtrend, and make it to a bigger one, a wider channel, and play it from there. And this is interesting. Let me see. We have this downtrend working lower, potential first break here. Price made a new low, first entry, pullback, second entry. The only problem I have is that we are not bouncing off the EMA, but we are bouncing off the midline of this range here. So that can be considered also as a key entry point. And there's not too much space to the last lows. You can see the last lows here where my cursor is. Usually I would like to see the bar finishing higher here on its low. When the bar is closing here, then a close, let's say under the midline would be best, but this bar is a bit too far below the EMA, so I think we will skip it here because, as I said, there's not so much space left to the lows here, and yeah, we could pull back here to back to the EMA, so would have worked. Okay, break, retest of the lows, and now it's happening what I mentioned before, that prices like to um, first test the upper range or bounce off the upper range, and then follows through and test the lower side of the range. And this is what's happening now when you have a range intact, because we are testing the range support here right now, but we cannot take this. Let me see, because we're bouncing a bit, maybe it's like this, can check it like this, going higher here, and at this pullback you can see we're pushing again lower, testing the range support. So this downtrend structure for sure played out by now, and this is no clear rejection of the range support. If there's clear rejection, you see something like this, that prices are approaching this level and directly get rejected, and here we are approaching this level, it gets rejected but comes back, and now there's no further rejection, so that could indicate a break of this range. Especially now we are breaking through this level, so this support here is breaking right now, and it could be that we are going lower. Cannot take the short right into the support of the range, that would be way too risky. Even though I have an indication that prices will go lower here, and I can see there is a spike and channel structure going lower here. There's no setup so far because we would like to see a pullback to the EMA to consider any entry, but this is not happening right now. We have a potential overshoot of the spike and channel here. You can see this like tiny break here. Whenever there's an overshoot, prices like to break the structure and do not retest the lows. I think when you read Mack's manual, you know about this. Prices overshoot here, we're breaking the structure and potentially coming back inside the range. Now I have to check it again. No, I think I like it where the range is right now. Maybe a few ticks more, then it's matching with the lows that we had here in the during the overnight, and prices overshot this channel, and this channel could be played out, and we had a breakout out of this range, and prices now come back inside the range. Do not trade breakouts in the first attempt, because most breakouts fail. You should know this if you follow us. Many traders are going short here because they see prices break out of this range, so we go short, and then what you will see many times is that prices reverse and come back inside the range. So this is happening here. Well, I think it's time to draw some shorter term channel like this. breaking this channel, making a potential first entry, second entry long, but the second entry is way too far above the EMA, so we cannot take this here, and it's way too close to the last highs. So we have to wait and skip here. Prices break this uptrend here and retesting the highs. And now we get a pullback here, back to DMA, but we had a break here already, and this looks a bit congestive. So I'm drawing this like little congestion here. You can see going long wouldn't be the best option because you go long directly into the last highs. Going sideways here, and maybe there's a bigger structure in play. I can try it like this. This maybe that could fit. Looks good so far. Let me draw this. We have this range here going on, and we're breaking this potential bigger structure. You can see prices are going higher. We had this low here, then the first touch here, another touch here. So we're breaking this structure right now. So there could be a retest of the highs, but in general we're still within the range. So be careful with this. We are pushing below the EMA, coming back and going higher here. No setup. This is a breakout out of this range. Breakouts can happen in these big ranges and also happening in the small ranges, and breakouts are treated the same way in either range. But there's no signal bar here. This is an inside bar of this bearish bar, so we're skipping. Cannot take a long here. There's a higher low, but this looks like a doji, and we're still inside this range here, and it's going long directly into the resistance of the smaller range. So I have to skip this. So extending. It's really difficult to trade on such a small screen because you can see I have to extend the channels all the time when we're going to the right. Going higher here, congestion, you can see it, pure congestion. Bars are stacked up here. It's not worth to take any trade here, and maybe there is even a bigger structure. This is what I said before, that you start with the smaller channels and then you're testing around, because now we have this low here, touch here, and to the top side it's also fitting, and the midline is also holding. You can see prices are bouncing off this midline here a bit. Prices taking it as support, and we're breaking it and going higher again. Prices go higher, and we bounce off this range support here, and what's typical for ranges, prices go the other way after that. And we are approaching the highs, but I'm not feeling confident in taking a short right off this range high here, especially when you see this stronger push higher here, and also with this order of bull bars. I really don't like to take a short like just randomly here, because there is the range high here. I'm usually waiting for lower highs as confirmation, but yeah, we're not getting this. Now we are breaking the range to the top side. You can see that. Also here's a short-term channel intact, break and retest of the extremes. And is this an overshoot? It could be an overshoot of the structure here. When there's an overshoot, we see many times a break of the channel. So I'm not sure if we can treat this as an overshoot. For now we have to wait, because prices made a new high here anyway, and we just cannot take a short here blindly. Would like to see further confirmation, and you can see this pure rejection following after this bar here. Prices trend lower. And breaking the structure here. Also taking a short here. I don't feel comfortable with this because you can see this uptrend is intact here and we have a first potential break. Also this shorter term channel here is intact with the first break, so we have a retest of the lows, but this bar here is so big that it could be a break and retest of the lows all in one bar, so I'm not trusting this. That would have worked, but you never know this. We have a clear break of the structure and the retest of the lows now. Break, retest of the lows. Coloring this like this. And this is congestion. Maybe we can even draw it like this. Congestion. Always draw this. Then your eye will automatically recognize congestion and mini ranges. So we are breaking the structure here. Let me zoom out a bit. And retesting the highs, there is a higher low here, but the same story as before. This bar is above the EMA and we would like to see it much closer to the EMA, so we cannot take it here, even though it's the first break of the structure, but it's also right into the resistance of this range. So I want to be more sure and have a clearer setup here to take a long that is not flying above the EMA like this, because really it can be that you go long here and it's going a bit higher and then bouncing back. I have seen everything, so stay with the short things, and we are pushing strongly higher here. Drawing this shorter term channel here, at least I'm trying to give it a different color, excuse me. And we're potentially overshooting this shorter term structure here. You can see the bars grow much bigger here, so there's no news event, so I'm wondering what's going on here. Also, prices made a new high here, so we cannot just take a short. We would like to see further confirmation, and prices just pull lower and we cannot get into this. So I'm drawing the shorter term channel, sorry, like this. This is just the first entry, so cannot take this. Pushing lower here, and we're finding some support again around the midline. This like so. Yeah, that looks good. Like this. Potential break, retest of the lows, and we're going much lower here. No setup. Prices are flying below the EMA, so really what we want to see is a very nice pullback, but it's not happening. Another congestion here. Like this. Extend this like this. So maybe there's a bigger downtrend in play here. If we are extending this channel a bit more, then we see this. Prices made this new high here. We have the first touch here, second touch here with a potential break now, but you can see there's no pullback to the EMA yet, and there's also congestion far below the EMA, and what we can do here is just waiting, because there's really nothing to take. We have no idea what prices are doing next. Pushing lower here, and maybe it could be, if you take a look like this, it could be a spike and channel structure. We have the spike here, and then prices are transforming into a flatter channel here, so that's called spike and channel. But yeah, no real pullback to the EMA. We're flying all the time below the EMA and there's no real setup, so we just have to wait. We're approaching the range support now, so I'm interested in seeing what will happen. We're breaking the support. It's interesting, breaking here, then to the top side and breaking to the low side again. Prices really don't know where to go. Breaking this structure here now, a very strong push higher above the EMA, pull back and a continuation. So nothing to take here. This is sideways, you can see it. There's a lower high now here, but you can see, let me draw this. This is so much congestion here. You cannot take a short into the support here. I know that we have the first break of this spike and channel, so we would like to see a retest of the lows, so around this level here. So there is potential that prices go lower from here, but as I said, there's some support forming up here and I really cannot take a short here. And you can see prices were stalling a bit and eventually go lower, make a new low here. Another congestion. Today, another game of patience. You can see this. The last days were like this. Many days I was just sitting for hours and hours and nothing was happening. And when there was something happening, I was not at the PC. Same here, we get a push higher above the EMA, then a pull back here, and the bar is directly finishing at the range support, so really cannot take a short here, especially we had the break of this downtrend here, break and retest of the lows, so cannot take a short at this moment. And I think it was the right decision because prices are stalling here and continue higher. We'll draw this. There's a higher low here, but this bar is a bit too big. It's 13 ticks. If it closed a bit closer to the EMA, like here, then I would be more interested in taking a long here, but right now, just have to skip this. Stacked up here, and this is going long directly into the highs. Really cannot do it. Maybe this is a bigger channel here. And it's going lower again. Break, retest of the highs, and we're pushing lower like this, pushing higher again. Really, this is an up and down, no clear structure. And I can see here's the current price action already. I really would like to show you more entries here, but as you can see, there was nothing forming up so far. Let me see this. Prices were trending lower here, first break, but this is not finishing on its low of this support here, so we cannot take this. Just have to wait. No, this is up, down, up, no clear bias. Nothing to trade, really, nothing. Even now in hindsight, I don't see any interesting setups here. And a break here, but as I said, some people take a short here blindly, but I cannot take this. I'm usually waiting for lower highs, especially when there's an uptrend in play like here. So prices made a new high here, same story. Cannot take just a short here. Zooming out a bit, you can see we had only one potential setup, and this was the lower high after the bounce of this range support here, and nothing else. This could be interesting if prices didn't make a new high here, because we have a support here. So it's like a first entry, second entry, short failure, but prices made a break a new high here already, so cannot risk this. So yeah, that's it. Let me zoom out here a bit. I have to zoom out a lot because the screen is so small, so uh, yeah, that you can see everything. Right now I think you see nothing because it's zoomed out way too much. So only one setup here. Um, this same story as before. It's flying above the EMA. We would like to see a pullback right at the EMA. So cannot take. This is also only first entry. So yeah, that's for this trading day. Not too much. I hope you had a great trading week. It was a week of patience. Don't let that bother you, because if you say in your head that you missed setups or that you have to trade in any way, then you are more likely to make mistakes and that you take trades that you normally wouldn't take. So be patient, and yeah, Monday is holiday, so I wish you a great long weekend, and please like and subscribe this video. We need this. Yeah, so I wish you a great weekend and speak to you next week.